Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. If you want to know how to get back your ex-girlfriend and boyfriend, click the link below.
How to pull another out of affair fog. Me, 29 meters, her, 26F. Both military, dated for 5 years, married for 2, total almost 8 years. Last November my wife went on a 5-week work trip. Ever since then there were signs, distant, always on her phone, etc. D-Day was March 4th. She told me she had feelings for someone else, another woman. That's all she said. I was shocked and in disbelief. The next day I moved to our spare bedroom, and we separated bank accounts 50-50. That same weekend the spouse of the app sent me messages with proof that they were intimate on the last night of the work trip. I was the last to know. Confronted the wife with the news and was met with hostility. That same week she met with her mother, whom she is close to, and told her half of the story like she did to me. I then reached out to her mother and gave her the full truth. They are not speaking at the moment and her mother supports me. I have told the wife I want to make things work. I got a counselor, gave her space, and worked on myself. She calls her app nightly for over an hour each time since D-Day. When I confront her about the affair she tells me she doesn't know what she wants and refuses to go to counseling. Only confides in her friends that support her actions. Aside from talking about the affair, we are amicable. We did yard work together, watch movies, etc. But at 8 or 9 petameters she needs her dopamine fix. The app is a service member, that is 10 years older than my wife, overweight, has a newborn child, and is currently getting a divorce with their spouse. The whole situation is crazy to anyone I confide in. I wish I had answers to how to pull her out of the fog and be rational, but I do not. I would like to make this relationship work, but I am becoming discouraged and starting to look at divorce. Side note, I am no longer as sad as I first was. I have pulled myself out of my depression and I'm no longer allowing her to disrespect me. Any advice is appreciated. Here are the best comments, advices that I gathered for this wonderful story. Unless she goes no contact with app, there is no chance in reconciliation. Go Grey Rock, 180 and give her the option it's me or app you pick and let me know. If you don't cut her out, I take that as you picking her. If that's the case, have her move out and start IC for yourself. Get rid of her. Please. My wife seems to have a lot of similarities to yours. It's not worth the pain you are about to go through. My wife had a long affair. After I found out, she tried to justify things by saying she never really felt married to me and that if she just pretended it didn't happen, she could convince herself it wasn't real. I ended her affair, no violence or threats of any sort were used, and now I am facing felony prosecution. I lost my job, I am probably going to lose my professional license, and there's a chance I'm going to be incarcerated. All this because I cared and wanted to stop her affair. I have been seriously contemplating suicide for months now and it's not getting any better. Don't allow yourself to be her victim. She doesn't give a fuck about how you feel, or how much pain this is causing you. Get out before your life is destroyed. She is a narcissist and if you are hurt by this, she will get pleasure from it. Sorry you are going through this. See a therapist for your suicidal thoughts, please. I really need to take my own advice here. I know what it feels like to want to destroy the people who destroy you, and I don't know what you did to get yourself to where you are right now. No judgment from me, but it's only hurting you. Seems like you are suffering consequences, and the offenders are living life. Start living life for yourself. Someday you may enjoy it again. I hope the same for myself, but I have a long way to go in therapy before I can get there. Maybe I'm being harsh, but the moment it becomes a requirement to talk to app nightly is the moment she openly tossed you to the side with zero respect. These actions tell me she values the marriage about as much as she values her dirty laundry. Seriously, how can you cheat on your spouse and then pretend to work on things while demanding an hour a day to talk to your app? Blows my friggin' mind. In short, I would pursue a divorce and don't act as her plan B. It may need a shock to her system. See a lawyer and have divorce papers drawn up and served to her. Maybe she wakes up and you can decide to cancel proceedings, or maybe she doesn't and you had to file them anyway. Show her that it's serious and what she has to lose. Shock and awe. Look up The Healing Heart, the 180. Read, understand, internalize, and implement. Hire a divorce lawyer and have papers drawn up that heavily favor you. Have a sit down and calmly discuss that you will not share her with anyone else, you will not be her plan B, you will not wait around for her to decide, and if she wants to pursue this other woman, then you will not stand in her way and present the papers. If she wants to stay married, list out your requirements, boundaries, expectations. It's an either-or proposition with no negotiations, no hesitations. If she wants out, then you will have not wasted weeks, months, years of your valuable life dealing with an unfaithful wife. The caveat is you have to be more than willing to walk, and she needs to understand that 100%. You have to look out for yourself, she certainly isn't. Please read. No more Mr. Nice Guy. The Chump Lady, Real versus Imitation Remorse and Leave a Cheater, Gain a Life. Best of luck. Consequences. If she doesn't face consequences, then she won't snap. Whether it's she loses financial help or emotional support or the family find out. If things stay the same for her, then her behavior won't change. And honestly, even then, be prepared that she's deluded herself into being happy with the change. I am truly sorry that you are going through this nightmare. You want your wife to stay with you. And that is only natural. Your wife may be confused about what she wants, or she may be playing you till she's ready to move on. Right now you are doing the pick-me dance, and when a man does that, he ends up looking weak and desperate. Don't beg and don't engage your wife in any kind of discussion other than as it pertains to the home or finances. Other than those things, answer any question that she has with yes, no, maybe, and I will get back to you on that. Right now your wife is running this show. You don't need to try to take the show over. You just need to show your wife that you aren't going to play her game anymore. You can get individual counseling for yourself, and you should make an appointment with an attorney to discuss the situation. Also, if you share bank accounts, then withdraw half the money and get a separate account for yourself. One thing that you can do that may help is to file a petition for divorce. You don't have to go through with it, and it may cause the fog to lift. If your wife decides to stay and you go through reconciliation, you have to realize that your marriage will never be the same. For whatever period of time that you stay together, you will constantly be looking over your shoulder, and you will never be able to trust your wife again. You should be asking yourself if this is how you want to live for the rest of your life. The only way to pull someone out of the fog is to dump them as quickly as possible, and demonstrate to them you're just fine without them. Sometimes they realize what they're losing. Most of the time they don't. And most of the time, even when they do realize it, the betrayed person realizes they're better off without them. So it's a win-win. You will never make things work as long as she is still in contact with the affair partner. The affair is still ongoing and nothing is changing. Your wife is probably making decisions behind your back while talking to the affair partner daily. Assume you are done. What you want won't matter because she doesn't want the same thing. The only thing that will jolt her out of the affair fog is to leave her and let her suffer the consequences. Right now she has everything she has always gotten from you, plus the great feeling she gets from the affair partner. You have to pull your side of it away because your side of it is the majority of what she is getting. She is taking all of your support for granted. Don't let her do that. You need to move out if you can. I don't know what type of housing situation you have, but move when you can. Start living your life as if she is a roommate who isn't a partner. Quit providing support for her. Provide your own meals. Go out and do your own things. Do your own laundry. Leave her to do all of hers. When she is on the phone with the affair partner, find something better to do. She is taking it for granted that you will be there waiting for her if she should decide to choose you. Take that option away. Let her know that you don't necessarily choose her anymore. Let her know that it is two-sided. You get a choice just as much as she does, and right now you should be leaning toward being done. She will only be jolted out of the affair fog by pulling yourself away. Let her suffer your loss. More cheating story. The pain is only getting worse. Buckle up. Bit of a complicated one here. My ex, 25 meters, and I, 22 meters, were together for over 2.5 years. D-Day was 2/12, yes, right before Valentine's Day. Work was not fun for me that day. He had forced me to hear his case on D-Day, but he mostly blamed me for him doing what he did. He said that because of the way I was making him feel, he had no other option but to go behind my back like that. I disagreed and told him that I didn't hold a gun to his head and make him do it. He had many other options, including just leaving if he was truly that unhappy. I'm not a mind reader. He never spoke up. How was I supposed to know he wasn't happy? He had been acting like everything was fine. Nevertheless, we tried to make things work. I was trying my hardest to work on the issues he had with me, and my only stipulation was that he found a therapist for himself before we tried couples counseling. I would have been open to couples counseling if he couldn't find one for himself after actually putting in effort to look. However, he would only actively look for one whenever I brought it up. On top of that, he apparently felt like I wasn't trying at all. All he has done since D-Day is take and take and take. We had argued a few times since D-Day, with most of those arguments coming to a healthy resolution for agreeing on some type of compromise. Not the last one. I had brought up that I felt his blame shifting was emotionally abusive behavior. He agreed that it was abusive, but refused to say that he was actively abusing me. This caused what little we had left to just crumble. He couldn't admit that he was abusing me, because he just had to be perfect and could do no wrong. It had been like this for the whole relationship. We just ended things a few days ago. I'm not sure what day, to be honest. I've just been trying to survive. The problem is, we just re-signed the lease on our 1BD apartment. I'm stuck with him. Being that it's hard to sleep alone after so long, we agreed to still share a blanket in bed and cuddle, because it's better to be well rested and have to work a bit harder to get over things, than to be sleep deprived and having to cope. The night that we ended things, I came home pretty drunk, we cuddled, and things seemed pretty okay. The next morning was confusing. We were still cuddling, just like we did before everything went to shit. After a while, we had breakup sex, and he left for the day. I knew it was a bad idea, but it was an exercise in self-control and I failed miserably. That sex gave me hope there was still a chance he wanted to try and work things out, even if it meant taking a break. There is no chance. Prior to D-Day, we had discussed marriage and we were actively looking to buy a house. We were supposed to go on vacation together tomorrow so he could finally meet my dad. Now I'm single, feeling lost, and left with no direction. Everyone keeps telling me the pain will go away, but the closer I get to having this time off from work, the worse it gets. It's just fucking constant, so loud in my head that I can't hear anything else. I'm writing this at work, and he's using the week that was supposed to be for us to go see his family, who had initially told him, when he admitted to them he cheated on me, that he did nothing wrong. By the time I get home today, he'll be gone. I'm not getting on that fucking plane by myself. I know I'll return worse off than now. But the pain is so much right now, I'm considering clocking out and going to check myself in for a 72-hour hold. I would like that to be my last option, because with any psych hold, voluntary or involuntary, I would lose my guns for at least 6 months. It's my only hobby. I can't do that. I don't know how to dampen the pain. I've burdened my friends enough with all of my shit. I don't have any money, less than $10 in my checking account right now. The closer it gets to that flight, the more it hurts. I don't feel like I'll ever be loved again, and even on the off chance that happens, I won't be able to fight the paranoia of being cheated on. I cannot live like this. I have my first therapy appointment at 4:30 today. Not too sure if I'll make it. I just want to know how to make everything stop hurting so fucking much. It's a constant feeling, worse than any physical pain I've ever felt. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Stay tuned for